Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I'm a healer, and this is a pick a card reading where we are going to be looking at positive influences in your life right now. So, whenever you're watching this reading, is when it's going to apply, of course. But I'm saying that because it's really going to be about the times that you're in, things that are happening in your life, people, places, things, and how they're currently bringing positivity into your life. So, positivity is a filter that we use to make sense of life, positivity and negativity. And positivity here is going to be things that add love into your life. So all of the manifestations of love, gratitude, happiness, joy, peace, well-being, productivity, creativity, all of those things that add an experience of love and really are helping love energy circulate through your life. That's what we are going to be looking at, with of course the understanding that there may be positive influences that you're not recognizing as such. We are probably going to touch on that too. I'm not sure. Let's find out. There are three options here. We have got the growth stone, we have the departure stone, and we have the personal power stone. Timestamps are in the description box, and I will see you in your reading in just a little bit. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who chose the growth stone, the very first option. We have an awesome reading here for you. So let's move through the cards and then I will give you your messages. We're going to start with the overall energy of Winter's End. And on this side, it's going to be the positive influences themselves. And here it is going to be advice. So we're going to start over here for now. So we have Winter's End that says regeneration, rebirth, positive outcome. We have Nine of Pentacles, Major Arcana number 15 with the Devil, Major Arcana number 3 with the Empress. We have Transformation, I journey within to meet my higher self and to find true happiness. And then we have Damien Hirst, which says Art and science are for confronting mortality. Postpone death, preserve it in formaldehyde encrusted in diamonds. There you go, you might want to see it. And then we've got Talk to your local pharmacist. Okay, so lots of things are coming up here. So first of all, we're going to start with this overall energy. There are situations in your life that are intended, that are meeting you in your sense of self-worth and of self-evaluation. There are situations unfolding in your life right now that are these positive influences, and these are going to be situations, circumstances, dynamics, engagements with people where it is a lot about you getting tested on how you're valuing yourself, on how you are living out values in your life. So maybe people have a lot to say about the choices that you're making, even with your money and your own resources and your time, and especially because it's coming from a space of self-esteem and self-worth. So there are things that you are choosing, things that you're not choosing, things that you're going along with, that you're not going along with, so on and so forth. A way in which you're unfolding that really is coming from such a space of self-worth and self-valuing, right? In light and dark. So wherever you are, and sometimes we are in different places in different areas. So we can have very strong self-worth and self-esteem with friends, less with family, be in the middle with the romance and so on and so forth. So I feel like it's a general dynamic where you're getting tested in lots of different areas and you may not know that that's what's going on. You're just thinking, you're just getting this devil energy and wondering what on earth is going on. What is all this dysfunction? What is this darkness? For some of you, this is a lot of animosity coming towards you, a lot of antagonism, conflicts, people arguing with you, people who all of a sudden have a lot to say about what you do. For some of you, I'm getting a lot about how you spend your money, how you spend your time. Maybe people feeling like you're not doing enough for them. There is this codependent kind of energy. It's almost like you didn't know you were in that kind of relationship with those people. Oh, I didn't know that, you were, what's the word, not relying on me, but expecting a lot of unvoiced expectations coming out for people, from people, for you to be a certain way, to do things a certain way, to give to them, to really fulfill something in their world and in their life. And again, you may not be seeing it in that way, but that's how it's coming through. So it very clearly is about other people's stuff, even the world's stuff. For some of you, this could be at a higher level where it's unfolding on the world stage, or it's things that we see in the news that you're actually experiencing personally, and that are testing you again in your values and your choices. But it is really, It's not for the purpose of that, because that would be cruel. Life doesn't put you through difficult situations and circumstances, but it's really saying it's because you're growing into this. You're evolving and moving from the Nine of Pentacles into this Empress energy. You see how they have the same background, but she's standing here, so it's a much more alert position. She's sitting in this. They even have the same kind of dress. She's sitting in this energy. She's at home in this energy. She is the originator of this kind of abundance and self-worth and self-valuing, being her best self, and her in the symbolic sense, right? But really embodying this energy of loving self, owning self, knowing the value of self, being at home in self. This is unapologetically self-loving, unapologetically peaceful, unapologetically me. That's this beautiful, really, really powerful energy that's coming in. And that's the positive influence. The influence is that you can grow into this. Now, once again, you're not experiencing this for the purpose of you growing into that. It's not like that. That's just insane. And again, that would be so cruel to have all of these horrible things happen just so you can develop a greater sense of self-worth. That's not how it works. It's just that we live in a way where a lot of people, most people, come by spiritual growth and evolution by moving through a lot of darkness. And really what you're moving through is kind of the ideas of the world, the functioning of the world, the systems of the world that are putting pressure, that are applying a lot of pressure. And this is your higher self. This is your true self. This is the part of you that wants to live this best authentic life, making the journey. And that's really the positive influence, is that at this time you can feel this part of you so much more clearly than ever before. It's not about the negativity being positive. It's not about seeing the light in the dark. The dark is the dark, right? We don't need the dark to see the light. We are the light. And it's about how you can feel that part of you, that light within you, the part of you that knows that you deserve the best. You deserve love. You deserve respect. You deserve trust. You deserve kindness. You deserve generosity. You deserve love, right? And all of those are expressions of love. Kindness, love, generosity, kindness, patience, trust, openness, gratitude. All of those are expressions of love. And this is you really connecting to the part of you through these experiences. You can really connect to the part of you that knows that, and that rises to the surface as you move through them, right? So it's also very important that you don't identify with them and think that they're about you. Don't make other people's negativity, other people's dysfunctions, other people's hurt, their damage about you. Hurt people, but people who are hurt by people don't need to be hurt, right? Because it's not your hurt. You don't need to internalize it. You don't need to make it about you. This is about really moving through that. And the more you can move through it with grace and without it touching you. You see, one of the things about the Empress that I love is that she has a natural boundary here. There's this water that's coursing on the side. There's a natural boundary. She's in her realm. Stay in your realm. Stay on your lane. In your lane, do your thing, do you, live your best life. And that is just like how to find the positivity and how to apply a filter of positivity on these dynamics and situations currently unfolding in your life. With the Damien Hirst, I'm drawn to the talk to your local pharmacist, because Damien Hirst, I believe it's him, but he has this artwork that he's put in, I think it's in a casino, but it's in like the world's most expensive suite. There's artwork that is represents a medicine cabinet, and it talks a lot about how we self-medicate as societies. And this is a message to Spirit saying that this is going to be healing, but this is kind of world-class healing. This is one of the most healing things that you can ever do for yourself in this life, ever, bar none, to really move through these experiences, because they're there and they're gonna happen. I mean, you do have to deal with them in one way or shape or form, and we're gonna talk about that. But how you move through them, and if you move through them in a way where you come out and you're much more connected to your own light and your own truth and your own being than ever before, then that's a very priceless gift and a priceless evolution. But that's a gift you give yourself. It's not these situations, it's not these people. So there's also a lot of caution around that, to not kind of idolize or glorify the darkness, like, oh, I'm going through this darkness to make me stronger. No, it's just darkness. It's just dysfunction. You are going through the darkness because maybe you're related to this person, or this is where you work, or these are the situations, this is the country, this is what's going on right now, right? It's existence, and it's the world, how things are unfolding. It's very it's very kind of black and white. It's on paper. This is how things are. But the experience that you create from that, the positivity that you find in that, that is alchemy, and that's very transformative and will be incredibly, incredibly healing. I haven't even done the overall energy, but here it comes in. Winter's end, because this is going to end. You're not intended to stay in this dysfunction. And the message that really is coming through is that it's very important that you recognize this dysfunction as that. It's dysfunction. It's something broken. It's something that shouldn't be. And it's not something to indulge in order to prove something to yourself or to prove anything to them, right? You don't have anything to prove to anybody, not to spirit, not to the universe who loves you unconditionally and has made you perfectly as you are. And you don't have anything to prove to these people who are behaving in these ways, in these patterns. You don't have to prove to anything in a situation that doesn't honor you, that doesn't meet you with respect. And you don't have anything to prove to yourself because you're the light. So whenever you are in the dynamics and you're trying to prove to it, that's the winter. That's when things stay frozen and they stay stuck. But how you can come out of it is to really, end it, really. To just end your participation, especially energetically. One of the things about abusive dynamics is that there's no, how do I put this? You can heal an abusive situation and circumstance if and when the person who is perpetrating the abuse, they want to get help, they want to work on it, and so on and so forth, then you can work with them. But even when you're working with them, there's no reason to be in the dysfunction with them. So that the lesson of abuse is to end it. It's to walk away. It's to move away, because you don't deserve on any level to experience abuse, even if it's going to help somebody else heal tomorrow or the next day or the next step, right? And so there's a lot of lessons here. And these lessons, they're like the thaw. And I love that we have cleansing waters here, because at winter's end, something that was frozen, something that was going to keep you stuck, is going to unthaw, and you're going to gain a lot of clarity, and you're going to be able to move on. So from these, it's like you move on from this level of experience altogether. You're just done. You elevate and you move on. So let's look at the advice. We have Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Cleansing Waters. Purification activates vibrant life force. And then we have got Right. Love this. Oh, this is powerful. Okay. I'm back. Ace of Swords, my dear. You know this. You know this. With this hand, and I think it's a falcon or maybe a hawk, but it's a bird of prey. This is spirit asking you to do something with it. Do something with the knowledge that you have. So you know, because you're reconnecting to your higher self and to the light within, you know that you don't deserve this. You know that there's better for you. You know that you're intended to live better. You know that you want to live better. You have this clarity. Obey it. Obey that clarity. And the Ace of Swords is also about cutting through, and it's coming through as one sword, one idea, one truth, meaning that sometimes we go, well, I know this, but then it's my workplace and I need the money and da 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 da. But then they are trying to heal and they're trying to better themselves and they said they were sorry, da da da. I am related to them, da da da. All of a sudden, there are all of these other truths that come in, and Spirit is asking you, hold on to that one truth. This is not right. This is not acceptable. This is not who I am. This is not what I deserve. It's going to be different for every single one of you, the shade of it. But it's at the core going to be about an awareness of your spiritual being and your spiritual truth and what you want to live and experience here on this world, what you deserve. And the word deserving is about kind of worthiness in a sense, but it's also what serves you. Word deserve. Am I served by this? Is this making my life better? Positivity. Is it adding love? Is it adding truth? Is it adding connection? Is it adding light? Is it this making my life better? And that's the only truth you need. Now, with the Four of Pentacles here, you see here, there's this figure holding on to the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Death card coming in. We have the figure from the Death card. And the Death card is major arcana energy, so that's a deep soul change and transformation. And for me, the Death card tends to also represent implosion. That when we pull energy from things, then they implode. They don't have the energy to sustain themselves, to keep going on, and they die away. And so this is a situation, Spirit is saying that you have to recognize that it's the situation and circumstance is they're doomed. In their current form, in how they're unfolding, they are doomed. They're not going to be able to continue because at a deep level, especially again with you journeying in to meet your higher self and these deeper dynamics unfolding, and you're knowing you're not gonna really be able to tolerate it, to sustain it, to give it energy for much longer. So inevitably it's going to be over. The advice is for you with the Four of Pentacles to really look at the situation, circumstance, and identify what you are holding on to. So very often, sometimes it's like we are holding on to, well, we're relatives. And this is what family is to me, or we had good times. I've seen a lot of people, when they talk about abuse, talk about the good times. That yes, there's abuse Monday through Friday, but the Saturdays and the Sundays were really, really good. And it could sound trivialized, trivial, and I hope that I'm not saying it in that way, because logically that's what it is. Logically, it's like, well, that's 2 days out of 7, but the feeling of it can be very powerful, and it can be something that we hold on to, especially depending on what we have had or not had in life before. But Spirit is saying there's something you're holding on to in this situation where you're still hoping that it's going to manifest. You're still hoping that it's going to be like that. And you really need to see that the situation is trying to end that within you, what it is that you're holding on, because it's like a hook. What you're holding on to is something that these people, these situations, these circumstances can hook into your energy through that, so they can access you, they can influence you, they can pull on you to take, right, negativity, to take from you, to take from you, to take from you. So it's up to you to plug that hole. It's up to you to release the hook by not giving it any more energy. And that is very hard to do, but that is the advice that Spirit has for you. To no longer feed what is keeping you in the situation or circumstance, invested. Don't feed anymore what is keeping you invested in situation and circumstance. So if you are holding on to, well, they're really a good person and they really mean well, stop telling yourself that. Stop putting energy into it. You can accept that that is so. Yes, they do mean well. I accept that that is so. But you don't have to tell yourself that every single time, or you don't have to keep it in the foreground of your perspective. Stop giving it energy. And I feel like that's really going to be very, very transformative. Finally, we have here the Nine of Wands, which is, again, a very kind of, it's an odd mixture. Again, logically, I know exactly, I have experienced this. I know exactly how that can be experienced, but logically it doesn't make sense either, because the Nine of Wands is talking about becoming very guarded with people. So one of the things when we have people around us who hurt us, or we have these situations with negativity and negative energy, and it takes and it takes and it takes, we become very guarded. And I literally just crossed my arm over my body and was taking a defensive position. This is about defensiveness, and this is Spirit saying to release defensiveness, because defensiveness is not a defense. It's just the illusion of defense. We feel like we're defending ourselves, we feel like we're doing something, but we aren't actually. And Spirit is asking you to replace that with actual strength. And the Nine of Wands is a very specific kind of strength. It's one that is based on our experiences in life. So it's being street smart. We've experienced what happened Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that even if Saturday and Sunday are good, we know what's going to happen next Monday, next Tuesday, and so on and so forth. And on the basis of that, we act, we choose. And it's that kind of strength. You've been in this long enough. You've been around the block. You've been in these experiences and these dynamics and these energies and these kinds of engagements long enough. For some of you, these are very old patterns that even go all the way back into childhood, which again would explain why they've endured this long. So Spirit is acknowledging that it's entrenched energy, but it's about you acknowledging that the fact that you've been in this for X amount of times and X amount of times, right? For however long, but also however many times you've been in these types of dynamics, along the way you've developed the strength to handle it. And so it's very important that you acknowledge that strength about you. You're not as weak in this situation as you would believe, and your defensiveness is making you believe. You don't need defensiveness. You need defense. You don't need to bark and argue and again give it energy or deflect or anything. You don't need that kind of defensiveness. You need defense. You need to actually act in a strong way on your own behalf. And you know how to do that. Yeah, there's definitely this energy here. There's a band-aid on the head. This is talking about keeping yourself safe. Very, very important to keep yourself safe. And now, of course, if we are talking about abuse, this is about, prioritizing your safety, talking to people. There are hotlines. There are lots of resources online that can tell you how to manage this in a way that is healthy for you and also safe. And at every single level, because here I'm thinking about physical abuse, but at any level, emotional abuse, how to peel away from this kind of energy. I'm getting the message. There's a lot of resources out there. Now, with cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. You have another resource inside of you, which is your spiritual energy. As you've been moving through it, and as you make these decisions and you start to move in a way where you really want to no longer give it energy and you want to move away from it, your spiritual energy is going to get louder. It's going to get more active. It's going to get more present. And it's really going to help you find a creative solution, because spiritual energy is nothing if not creative, incredibly loving, incredibly nurturing, incredibly fair also. You're not going to go into, again, defensiveness and rage and resentment and all of these things. There's a clean way out here. But it takes you really giving yourself over into the spirituality in the situation and circumstance. So this also means forgiveness. This means trust in a healthy outcome. Means focusing on the highest good of all involved in the situation. And it's like when you give yourself to that, you're going to find this well of energy and of power inside of you that is going to help you figure out how to make that happen. I'm being guided to give you an example. So years ago, I had a kind of a friendship that was like that, and a lot of really negative energy was coming through that connection. And I wanted to end it, but we were very entrenched. We were very, very, very connected. And so I was meditating and asked for guidance. Spirit gave me the guidance to actually start distancing myself little by little. And my thing was like, I'm going to have a conversation with this person. I don't want to, have this hanging on for too long. I don't want to go into it too long. But Spirit gave me the advice and said, start talking to this person a little less and things like that. And really the universe helped. Like the internet went out. Couldn't talk sometimes. All these stuff started happening to help support me in that. But little by little, I started to phase out our relationship. So by the time I sat down and I had this conversation with this person, it was a lot easier, because actually on their side, they actually had learned to stand on their own a little bit more. So they were quite much more open and much more ready for what I had to say, and we parted ways in a much more amicable kind of way. So that's something that I would never have thought to do. But by going into a place where I remember, I wanted to talk to them and I wanted to think, and I was focusing on what they were doing. But by allowing that not to be and focusing on kind of how can I make this end in the best way possible for everybody. I found a solution that I never would have thought about, that I never would have thought I was strong enough to do, because I was just like, oh, this is going to stress me out. This is going to be, I need to handle it just, and it didn't actually, and it was fine. It was fine. There's creativity here. There's loving energy that really wants to help you move on, because the thing is, there is a potential with these kinds of energies that you end it in a way where it just prolongs the drama. It prolongs, again, the access. And if you try to end it in that way, it will be those energies, those unresolved energies inside of you that are making it end in a way that prolongs it, so that you're not actually letting go even as you're ending it. And that's the message the Spirit has for you. This is a message about real resolution, not just a solution that, oh, this is over, I don't have to deal with it, but a real resolution. Things are tied up. There's fairness as much as there can be. There's balance, there's forgiveness, and not necessarily on their part or in the part of the person or the situation or the organization or anything like that, but on your part, where you feel at peace, everything is resolved, you've cleansed it away, you've let it go, and you're able to really have it end, move on, and you can come into a positive outcome, and there's regeneration, rebirth, and moving on to something else. Now, finally, with the right card, this is talking about you getting very, very clear on your intentions. So literally write it out, journal it, put it into words. But however you do that, for some of you, literally journaling, but it's talking more about clarity of intention, being very, very clear and very intentional with what you want to have happen in this situation and circumstance, relationship, dynamic, whatever it is that you want. Be very, very clear on that. Like, write it out so that you're clear. You're very, very clear, because sometimes, again, we think that we want one thing, but then there are all these unresolved things. So the advice is absolutely for you to get clear on that. And then why I was touched when I was talking about this card earlier is because for some of you, there's an aspect where you're going to take this and you're going to write about this. You're going to maybe write a book, write a movie, a screenplay, but you're basically going to take this and have it be part of your purpose and do something bigger and greater with not the experiences and how you dealt with them, but how you found yourself, period. This is a way in which you are finding yourself, and that's what you're going to be able to move on with and share with others, especially when you clear off all the other stuff and just leave it where it needs to be, which is not with you and not in your future. So that was your reading. I do have a takeaway message for you here that I picked with the rest, and we've got gratitude upside down. You fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you. Oh my God. But you know, in this deck, when the cards are upside down, for me, that's a sign to read the energy related to the self. So you fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents you. Yes, but these are lessons about yourself. These are exactly what we were saying. Be grateful for the things you're learning about you, the power within you, the being within you. That's where the core and the lessons in this situation and the positive influence that these situations and circumstances unfolding in your life right now have for you. So love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it served you. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. And if you would like to do more deep work, I do offer intuitive readings where we talk about self-love, we talk about soul connection, we talk about love and relationships and life purpose, where we go really, really deep. We yank out dysfunctions at the root, all of that stuff. Spirit gives you the messages, and then there's healing. And then, of course, Spirit also activates people, places, things in your life to really enact some powerful co-creative healing. And then I have written out some healing work that does the same, where you can call on Spirit to co-create powerful healing and change and transformation and inspiration, lots of different themes, starting from the smallest energy clearings all the way to a process that lasts between 12 to 16 months. There you go. So love, that was the reading. Lots of love. Wishing you all the best. And I will be seeing you around. Bye, love. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who chose the second option, which is my departure stone. And looking at the cards, how very, very appropriate. So a little bit about departure. For me, departure is this energy that has to do with moving away from mainstream conventions and normative ways of doing things, right? So normative in the sense that that's what everybody else is doing, but just to go your own way, and to follow the calling of the soul and going our own way. For me, that's what departure is as a concept, right? So that's what the energy of the stone is, and that's the energy of this reading. That's kind of the positive influences around you at this time. So, love. What we have here is the need to recenter. There we go. We've got an overall energy of night wind, facing fear, subconscious release, healing. On this side, we have what this energy is to look into these influences much more clearly. And on this side, we will have some advice, so we will get to that. First, we've got Major Arcana number 17, the Star. Major Arcana number 12, the Hangman. We have 8 of Cups. Third eye chakra with I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply this wisdom in my life. Yes, please. And then we have Yayoi Kusama, which says your soul is composed of the same dots as the universe. Distinguish yourself from your mirror image and show them your hallucinations. And again, hallelujah, amen. Very buoyant feeling here. Okay. There are situations and circumstances in your life that are causing you to face some fears, to release subconsciously and to heal. But what it really is talking about are wake up calls, wake up energy. That there are situations and circumstances currently unfolding in your life that are really there for you to awaken. Yeah, awaken with the star and this card about your higher self, but to awaken into a higher and bigger sense of who you are. You have a destiny. You have something that you're intended to live and to be and to experience in this world. And the experiences are showing you some beliefs, some understandings, some perspectives, some habits, some patterns, maybe even some connections, some relationships, some choices, some energies and dynamics that are causing you to turn away from who you're really intended to be. Not everybody in this world has a destiny. There's lots of souls in this world who are here to experience, and they're here to create, and they're here to go along. Like, in order to have destiny, you have to have a lot of spiritual power, basically a lot of spiritual energy, and most people on the planet just don't have that, so they don't have destiny paths. Destiny paths are very demanding, they're very exacting, because the way in which the world works, right, the departure, there's no alignment. And so a lot of people who are on destiny paths end up getting stuck. And this is major arcana. So this is at a soul level. This is trying to get stuck, trying to get the awakening needed to move on. And I'm getting this energy of this happening over and over and over again in your life. And for some of you also in different areas of life where it's all coming up now. That you have a destined space and place and things to be, things to do, things to create, people to be with, a whole life to lead really. And again, for some of you, it's just one thing, one situation specifically, and for some of you, it's again your whole life. And where you are right now is that the situation and circumstances around you are causing an awakening to subconscious fears or just very conscious choices that you're making, but a way in which you're living that is keeping you from being fully on this destiny path and taking yourself and your life to the next level of really blossoming into everything that you're supposed to be, to embody in this world. Again, I'm getting this message. You're supposed to be someone. There's something very specific that you're here to be and live and do and create and embody and represent and champion and choose and so on and so forth, right? Because it's creative energy. It's just everything. I'm getting such powerful creative energy from you, and you're intended to work that energy. And so situations and circumstances want to bring you into a space where the positivity is for you to move away from that, walk away from that. And the Eight of Cups is walking away from a space of surrender, of forgiveness, of moving towards something brighter, something lighter, because the Eight of Cups is moving to find the Nine of Cups, and they're wearing the Magician's cap. So again, that creative energy, they're off to create something that truly makes them happy. Eight of Cups is Jupiter energy, so we are in this energy of Dharmic lessons, absolutely. Jupiter is a dharmic teacher, but also this energy of all the blessings that come from being in our dharma. So Jupiter is known as kind of Santa Claus energy and very positive and lots of blessings and manifesting everything that we want. But at the core, it comes from a dharmic space, and at the core, dharma is about working our light, working and being in alignment, living in alignment and peace, and really in full integration, embodiment of our spiritual being and living according to those laws, which also comes but brings us to this card because yeah, with getting tongue tied, there's some problem with figuring it out, seeing it. Okay, there is a wisdom, there's a way of being and living and doing things when you're coming from your soul and coming from your truth that is different than how you live and be and choose to do things when you're coming from your more human, from your personality, from your psyche, from your persona, from your habits, your patterns, your ancestry, and so on and so forth, right? There's so many things, so many different influences. But the strongest influence needs to be from within you. It needs to be from your higher self. And so your higher self is trying to show you in these situations and circumstances, especially where you're feeling stuck, right? And you're getting an awakening and you're being met with lots of different things so that you can discern the wisdom of your higher being, of your true being, and apply that. So it's not just that these situations and circumstances are here to show you and to have you have the release. They need you to do something. You have to do something. You have to apply what you're seeing. That's the way out. And for some of you, you've been beating your head against the wall. How do I make this end? How do I stop this cycle? How do I move on? You have to find the higher perspective and you have to apply it. Why? Because that's how you distinguish yourself from your mirror image. You have to show up. Departure. You have to move away from it's not a false self, it's just a more limited self. You are your human self. Your persona is a part of you. Your personality is a part of you. Your ego is a part of you. Your psyche, they're all a part of you, and they're very important. When we don't have those things in a healthy state, we're in a lot of trouble. But they're not all that you are. You're so much more than that. You're so much bigger than that. And it's about applying that, living from a space where you're bigger and applying the wisdom of that space in your life, living accordingly. And when you're living according to the understanding that you're far more bigger, you're more powerful, you're brighter, you're more loving, also more powerful, more truthful, more kind, more wise, more generous, more patient, more forgiving, more trusting, or more honest, and so on and so forth. Because love, energy, you're much more creative than what you're experiencing right now. When you live from that space and apply it, you're gonna do things in a different way. And that's in that difference is this is who I really am. That's what I'm really about. So I need an example. All right. The example that I always use for departure is very simple. It was when I became vegan. At first I was saying I eat vegan, and it was true, I ate vegan. Then I started to lead a vegan lifestyle, so clothes, furniture, everything needed to become vegan, right? And then I was leading a vegan lifestyle. Now I say I am vegan because for me it is something that is a part of my spiritual energy. It's like in the way that I am life and I honor life and live that spirituality. I don't want to eat another life, and I don't want to eat things that are created from the exploitation of another life. And by the way, that extends to other human beings. I don't buy things from sweatshops and things like that, right? It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. But when I started to do that, I distinguished myself. It made so much sense. And I could go back in my life and see that I never really enjoyed eating meat. And for example, I never thought I would become vegan because I love cheese. And I always would say, oh, I would be a vegan if only, cheese didn't exist. But here I am today. I don't miss it. There's a growth. There's an evolution. There's something about your true being and being connected to that true being that supersedes even appetites or pleasures. Just a way of being that has value. Cheese, I loved cheese, but I'm more than that. I'm more than my love of cheese. And then in veganism was such a profound way for me to realize that. And it's the same thing for you. There are some ways of being, some choices to make, ways in which you can approach things. One thing that I had also is I had experienced a lot of conflict with lots of different people. And I found within me a different way of responding that was so much more loving, so much more forgiving, and just shifted perspective. Like, oh, no one makes me feel bad. I'm experiencing something, and then from me and my patterns, I'm experiencing it as bad and reacting accordingly, but I don't need to experience it in this way. This person is not inherently bad, and so on and so forth. And it was hugely awakening and profound. It's those kinds of things. It's those kinds of things. There's a bigger you, and it's about you meeting that. So let's get you some advice here. We have 10 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 10 of Cups, Rainbow Blessings. Blessings are showering your life, and we've got integrity. My love, I love this advice. First and foremost, 10 of Wands, Spirit is saying to recognize the cost. There is a cost to living out of alignment with your bigger being, your true being, especially when you're in a process where you're trying to awaken to it. The cost is this hanged man energy. Situations, circumstances that are stuck, dreams that you want to bring into reality, but they're stuck. Something's stuck because you're not fully applying the wisdom of your dreams and your abilities, right? So the dream is wanting to be something, experience something, create something, but what it takes to experience it in a way that is aligned is what you are unwilling to pay, essentially, right? You're not willing to give it what it takes to manifest, and that's okay, but there's a cost to that unwillingness. So the 10 of Wands, this is a person who was holding 10 wands. He dropped them, he's holding the right one. The Spirit is saying choose the right cost. There's a cost to everything. There's a cost to not following your dreams. It hurts, especially at a deep level. I don't know if you've known that kind of like spiritual hollowness or that alienation from self. It hurts, it's painful. It's really painful, and especially again if you're in a process where you're awakening to that. A lot of people are asleep to that. That's their path, that's their truth, that's reality. Their reality is not yours. So there's a cost. Even if you have to depart and you have to leave something behind, there will also be a cost. But it's about choosing the cost, right? With the 10 of Wands, and there's a burden that is going to be lifted off of you when you choose the right thing, and that's what Spirit is saying. The true thing resonates with you in a way where, yes, I have to drop all of these things, I have to depart, but ultimately it's fine, it's fulfilling. You know, back to the cheese example, ultimately I don't miss it. Oh my god. Actually, okay, just completely out of it, but I saw my brother was making a cheese sandwich the other day, and I felt my body go, I like that. Like, remember the taste of like a cheese sandwich and how good that tasted and how much I loved it. But it was so momentary. It was so fleeting. It was just like, oh yeah, but I don't eat that anymore, and I moved on. It's those kinds of things. Oh, there's just a burden that is going to be lifted off of you that you don't even know. And I will tell you again. I used to, one thing that I started to notice after I became vegan, which again is right for me, is that my meals became so much more joyous because I was actually feeling guilty when I used to eat meat. I didn't realize that I was. I didn't realize that there was a burden on almost every meal that I ate had burdensome energy to it, right? When that energy lifts, every single meal became joyful. Isn't that insane? It's like that. There's a joy. There's a relief to departing from what is no longer in alignment with you, what doesn't serve you, what doesn't work for you, what is not in alignment with your higher self. And that's also part of meeting the fear. It's understanding that on the other side of it, it will be fine. It will even be great. Finally, we have 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is talking about things that are happening in your life in the background. The energy is moving. This awakening is underway. And Spirit is giving you the advice to aim with it, to lean into it. You see where he's aiming towards the 10 of Cups. Ultimate fulfillment, by the way, but we will get to that. But it's about, aiming and being optimistic and positive about where the energies are taking you. very often, we see in our lives where things are going. I'm gonna, someday I'm gonna give up on cheese, right? I saw it coming, but you're seeing this coming. You know what's coming. And that's part of the wisdom of your higher self also. And Spirit is saying lean into it, lean into the movement, lean into the change, and therefore start to aim objectively for what it is that you want. Start being intentional, because ultimately this is energy. And what creates a lot of mess when we're awakening is that the energy starts driving our awakening process, but we're just there flailing and fighting and resisting and not liking it, and so it just becomes a big old mess. But we can see this energy bubbling up and then take the reins and direct it. Okay, so I maybe don't want to go vegan, I'll go vegetarian, I'll go ovotarian or pescatarian, right? There are so many variations, and that's the thing. It's again just an example, but there are ways, and it's part of the fear, is that you're seeing this energy moving, you're hearing this calling, you're seeing this destiny unfold, and you think that it's going to take you someplace that you don't want to be. And the Spirit is saying, then be intentional with where you're going with it, right? Where it's going to take you. Be intentional, take the reins, aim for what it is that you want. It's happening anyway. It's happening anyway. So direct it. Finally, we have this 10 of Cups. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is the After Tarot. And so in the After Tarot, the 10 of Cups takes place at night. And in the regular Rider-Waite Smith Tarot, it's happening in the day, glorious day, there's rainbow and so on. So this is talking about a scene that's still the same people, still the same home, still the same landscapes, still the same space of ultimate fulfillment. It just doesn't look like one would think that it looks like. It's like Spirit is saying you're expecting blue skies, you're expecting rainbow to recognize that this is fulfillment, that your soul is leading you to this fulfillment. But the wisdom of your higher self is that you're not a day person. You need fulfillment at night, right? You need to see the stars. The destiny, your destiny has to be bright. It has to be able to be seen. Now, I mean this symbolically. For some of you, that is quite literal. Like, for example, you're an evening person, right? Don't aim to start a business where you're going to be working in the morning, work in the evening. It's like that, for example. Some of you, I'm getting, are rock stars, work at night. You'll find your fulfillment working at night. So in a larger sense, your fulfillment doesn't look the way that you currently think it does. And so that's why you're having a hard time recognizing that your soul is leading you to something that's going to be incredibly fulfilling. But it will have all of the elements, all of the things that really will bring you fulfillment. They're going to be there. You just need to start thinking about it in a slightly different way. And then we have rainbow blessings. So here is the rainbow. Blessings are showering your life. Yeah. You gotta come out of the fortress. You gotta come out of the comfort zone to see the blessings and to be in this rain of blessings, because again, it's happening. So the message the Spirit has for you is that right now in your life, you're having blessings. You're having this shift and this change and this transformation that is bringing a tremendous amount of blessings into your life, especially with having to depart from certain things, situations, circumstances, relationships, engagement, ways, practices, habits, you name it, beliefs. All of these departure dynamics are really bringing happiness into your life. They're bringing more blessings, but you have to go into it to feel the blessing. So if you're looking at it from the outside, right, and oh my God, I was going to move to this city and now this city has gotten flooded or something and I can't move there. Well, it's really a blessing, because it wasn't the right city for you. You are thinking in a subconscious kind of way that it is, because maybe it's the shiniest city and the glitziest city and it's world famous and world famous restaurants or something like that. But you're going there for the wrong reasons. Let me put it that way. And any redirection that is happening is really a blessing. And so it's about being in it. If you go, oh, not the city, where's the blessing? Where's the blessing? Where is it? Where do I really want to go? Then that is going to reveal to you. And that city that you go to might be flood proof, right? It's like that. There's an element here where it's about you and what satisfies you and what works for you and what will be ultimate fulfillment for you and no one else. And stepping into the zone, stepping into the space in order to know that. There's a saying with like, life happens in the arena, and people who are sitting outside the arena, they look in, but they don't contribute to the fight or to the spectacle that's going on in the arena. They're spectators, and this is what Spirit is saying. Stop being a spectator to this rain of blessings coming into your life. Start co-creating. Get in there, and do so with integrity. Integrity is so important, because the thing about integrity is that we are unable, I was just thinking about this today actually, but we're really unable to be out of integrity with ourselves. It always catches up to us, always. In some way, shape, or form. Either we start feeling bad and we have emotional or mental disturbances and we just feel so bad, and or we can even, become depressed. We can become angry and we externalize. But in some way, shape, or form, we're going to act out that there's a lack of integrity. There's a lack of cohesion and coherence within ourselves. We're going to act it out because we're unable not to. We are beings of wholeness. And so Spirit is saying, use that for your good, for your benefit, to try to identify where you're not being honest with yourself, you're not being truthful with yourself, when to really be clear about what's working, what's not working, what the costs are, and then bringing things into a space of integrity little by little. That's what your higher self is really guiding you to. That wisdom to apply in my life is this integrity thing. Does this fit with me? Does it really fit with me? Is it really true for me? Does it really fulfill me? Is this really right for me? And then when you start bringing the pieces together, you're going to create a lot more coherence and a lot more well-being and a lot more peace and a lot more happiness and so on and so forth, by also pushing out things that are not in alignment. So in other words, it's also to bring through things that are positive for you, that are bringing light and love and happiness and joy and peace and well-being into your life, while pushing out things that are taking away light, love, happiness, peace, well-being from your life. Embrace positivity, release negativity, basically. And that's how you're really going to be in integrity. And negativity and positivity, like I was saying in the intro, are filters. They are filters that we apply to make sense of our reality. So what is positive for you? And especially now, this is a reading about what's going on in your life right now. What's positive now may not be 3 months from now. What's negative now may be positive 3 months from now, and so on and so forth. But it's about the integrity of being with where you are here and now and acting accordingly. Another big lesson from our higher selves. Higher self is very big on now, here and now, and being in integrity. Sometimes we endure things. Oh, it's only for a month. It's only for a week. Well, that's a month or a week too long for your soul. So, love, that was your reading. I do have a takeaway. Let's look at see what you got. We have kindness. Wow. You are a humanitarian made of love, and you're able to share that energy with others. Wow. Again, a big message about your destiny. You're someone. You're here to do something. You're here to share that energy of love with others. And this is a process that is really intended to get you into a place where you're in alignment with that, where you are in integrity, you are who you're being, you've activated what you need to activate, you're walking the path that you need to be on, and then you can go out into the world and do even greater things. Yay! Yay you! And thank you, by the way. So that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it served you. And if you need more help, I do offer in-depth readings where I do intuitive readings. We look at self-love, soul connection, love and relationships, life purpose, and we go really, really deep. We go into dysfunctions and we yank them out by the root. And then Spirit activates people, places, things in your life to co-create some really powerful healing. And I've also created healing systems where I've put into writing the same kind of principles, where you can speak the words to call on Spirit to help you in specific situations and circumstances to co-create powerful healing. Same thing, activating people, places, things in your life, making things happen to really create powerful healing. And it starts from the small, from energy clearings that are, one of them is a set of 4: embrace positivity, release negativity. Those are energy clearings, and then it works all the way up into a longer healing process, a healing journey that can go for up to 16 months. So it is all there. It is all there in the description box if it speaks to you. And I will be seeing you around on this channel for more readings and more help here also. Lots of love. Wishing you all the best. May you be blessed always and in always. And so it is. Bye. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who chose the third option, this personal power stone, which I love because you could just have it in your hand. It just fits naturally in my hand. I love it. It feels fantastic, actually. But this is a message that says, "You've got this. You've got this." Oh, beautiful. All right. We have an overall energy of the message positive news, positive outcome. And then we have here on this side more about the positive influences currently unfolding in your life. We have Page of Cups, Major Arcana number 9, the Hermit, Four of Swords. We have 33, Sun Goddess, Master number 33, which says, I celebrate each sunrise and recognize the healing energies of the sun. We have Titian with Go Viral, Not Bacterial. A flatter client is a repeat client. Your personality can be as colorful as your canvas, and this is advice that we will talk about later on for how to get the most out of these energies. So, love, the positive influence that is at play in your life. I love this. Of course, it had to happen in one of the piles, and it happened in yours. Is from you, from within. The message, positive news, positive outcome. This is an influence that you have to provide as things are happening or unfolding in your life at this time. So it is from you within. And we have here the spiritual being within you, bringing through a kind of, not a reframing necessarily because that's very mental, but really an experience. You're really going to experience it as being something positive, something that is therefore bringing more light, more happiness, more joy, more abundance, more peace, more well-being into your life. You're really going to experience it in this way. And this is for you to become aware that this is happening, for you to give it your focus, give it your attention, your energy, and feed into that process, because this is different than, for example, toxic positivity or even reframing or even affirmations. It's coming from your spirit, from the spiritual energy within you. Is the spiritual energy within you where something is happening, and then for whatever reason, you don't even know why, but you experience that it's for the best. All's well. All's well. Oh, that thing just broke, and still all's well. Oh, I was hoping for that to happen and it didn't, but all's well. I don't know why. I can't quite explain it, but I feel like it's still okay and it's still for my highest good. I remember this once. I lost. Oh, someone had made me this beautiful bike. Repaired it for me, and then stuff happened and I ended up losing the bike, and I was so sad. But then I got this intuition. I was like, you know the person who repaired it is actually an amateur. I might have been saved from some kind of accident. Maybe not even the person who repaired it, but I just got this, oh, I might have been saved from having an accident further on down the line. It's like that. It's like that. And I have no logical basis for it. And it may or may not have happened, but that's how I made sense of the experience. It just felt true. And energetically, it's true, right? There's no telling if I would walk and ABCD would happen and there would be an accident or not. But energetically speaking, the energy of that, the potential of that left. So it's like that. Wow, this is really powerful. So more on how that feels. On the one hand, we have a Page of Cups, which is talking about a light, bright energy. So again, this is not toxic positivity where you're grinning or putting a fake smile on your face. No, it actually feels light. It feels delightful. It feels easy. One of the meanings of the Page of Cups is also forgiveness. So there's an element here of forgiveness and an element of also emotional freedom with the Page of Cups, meaning that things are happening and your emotions aren't tied to them. So again, this breaks. It doesn't mean I have to break. It doesn't mean I have to be in tears. It doesn't even mean that I have to be bothered by it. I can feel independently of what's going on. So there's definitely that sense with the Hermit, deeper underlying reasons, but the Hermit is that deeper inner wisdom. And here we have, oh, the Star. Oh, okay. I'm getting soul connection. The Hermit. We have to unpack this. This is the voice from within, and the voice from within talking about destined events and helping you stay on a destined path, on the right path, from within, not from what's going on outside, because the Hermit's eyes are closed. So there's a sense also in how you're interpreting and how you're feeling about what's going on in life, where from within you have a sense that this is right, this is how things should be happening in the grander scheme of things, and should in the sense that it's going to get you where you need to be, the sense of alignment with the highest good of all, for sure. And also with the hermit, the need to be guided by what you feel and know on the inside. There will not necessarily, there might be, but not necessarily, and very often at this level there won't be any external corroboration. Yeah, with the Titian card here, there's even this level where you might come off looking crazy, and you have to be willing to do that. It is what it is. You know what you know on the inside. And it's going to be as a process, something that also really helps you kind of like flex your inner muscles, develop these muscles of inner knowing. And finally, with the Four of Swords, ooh, there's a wonderful song by yeah, this is actually very much that song. I think it's called Dear Silas. There you go. I ain't stressing today. And he literally sings like, I woke up, got out of bed, it was a sunny day. Brush my teeth, clean my face because I love myself. It's like that. Oh, he doesn't say it like that, but that's how he feels right now. But the point is, the song keeps going, I ain't stressing today. This is happening. Peace and love is on my mind. I'm not stressing today. And then the videos are all of these moments where, you know, he lost money and he's just dancing, but I'm not stressing about it. I'm not stressing about it. It's that kind of energy. No matter what's going on, you're going to have the ability to stay in peace and to stay centered, again, not from a place of denial, because it's the Four of Swords. So that energy is up, you know, on the wall with the Three of Swords here. It's not about denial. It's just about an understanding and awareness that even if you have to do something from about the situation, about the problem, about the issue, it's gonna come from a place where you're calm. Where you're calm. And Four of Swords for me is also this card where we know what to think about something. So we're not in mental unrest. We're not trying to figure it out. We know what's going on, and so there's peace. There's not coherence with the Six of Swords where it makes sense and the pieces fit together and it makes sense and we can move along with it. It's just Four of Swords. There's an explanation, and that explanation gives us peace. But the explanation that you have is, oh, this is good for me. This is working out for me. I don't know quite how, but it's working out for me. And even here, there's no, I don't know quite how. There's just, this is working out for me. This is going to be good for me. This is going to work for me. Period. I love it. Love it. Okay. With the number 33, I celebrate each sunrise and recognize the healing energies of the sun. You see how here we have the dragon with the wings outstretched, wings outstretched, wings outstretched. It's a, even here actually, it is a theme here. Taking flight, going up into a higher level. And master number 33 is a number of mastery of soul growth, soul lessons. So really what you're gaining is some growth that you've realized on the inside and that is manifesting in your life. And that's what this positive influence is, the growth and evolution of your soul revealing itself, which is also going to lead to a fresh new way of living. Awesome. And there's sunrise energy. It's a new day. It's a new beginning. So part of this is also that the way in which you're taking things is not is about not going into what's broken, but about interrupting that cycle and starting afresh, starting anew in the situation, and taking it in the direction that you want it to go in, creating something new. And that's the dragon energy, is leadership energy. And dragon energy is very powerful, but it's not inherently good or bad. Some of the biggest conquerors in the world who have killed millions of people have had dragon energy, that leadership energy, power to make things happen. But it can also be very positive. And with this soul growth and evolution and the message here, it's about you have leadership ability in your life. You have the ability to take situations and circumstance and take them in a way. What happens is that usually when something bad happens, we go into it and, oh, the problem and the issue, and we kind of embourbé, we bog ourselves down with what's wrong and what we don't like about the situation and all of this stuff, instead of being able to break free, break out of it, and lead it to where we want it to go, where we want it to be. So love, I just got interrupted, and in the spirit of the reading, and what I usually do, I just went like, oh, what can I do in this time? how can it serve me? How is it serving me right now that I'm getting interrupted? So I actually went and I read about these cards, the cards we have yet to see, the oracle cards we have yet to see. And so let's finish up here. There's some good stuff here coming here. We've got this notion of the interruption. Titian here. I read that he was someone who lived to be a very long age. He would live to be about 85, which in those days is really, really long, even today, actually. And he was always working and continually experimenting with his style and kind of renewing himself, and had a lot of success with that. And so this is Spirit saying that this way of being is intended to be a way for you to tap into a massive amount of success. And we'll see here a lot of it based on Spirit, also with the Wheel of Fortune. But you are intended, a flatter client is a repeat client. This is going to work for you. You're the client. You're going to do this for yourself, and it's going to work for you, and you're going to come back to it over and over and over again. And you're going to experiment with it, and you're going to kind of, it's not about taking it as face value. That's just like, oh, I just see the light here. Why do I see the light? How do I see the light? What does it mean? What does it mean in this situation, in that situation, and so on? There's a lot for you to learn at this level and in this dynamic. And then with your personality can be as colorful as your canvas. This is going to make you a weirdo. By the standards of society as we live today, it's not going to make sense to other people. But again, it's going to add so much to you, so much color, so much authenticity. This is really something that is true to you and a true way for you to function. And you're going to regain that. Really beautiful energy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And again, this notion of longevity, long-standing, that his paintings are still around, right? This is really something that maybe for some of you who have children, yes, you will pass this on and ensure longevity of it in this way. Very, very powerful energy. Very, very powerful shift. Spirit is saying definitely don't underestimate how powerful this is. So let's get you some advice. We've got here a Four of Cups. We have Ace of Wands, Major Arcana number 10 with the Wheel of Fortune. We have transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges, and we've got assistance, absolutely. Four of Cups is about, in this deck with this after tarot, it's about interrupting a cycle. When we have here things that used to work, things that, life just brought existence, it just keeps going. When we program our energy to manifest the same kind of reality over and over again. And here with the Four of Cups, it's about interrupting that cycle. That's how I'm reading this card in general and in here, right? In this context. Because it's not about false positivity, but it is about recognizing that these things aren't working anymore. So even if things are not happening, or they're happening, or they stop ending, or something that we traditionally would think of as negative, like the Four of Cups, right? It's traditionally considered a negative card, but the way that I interpret it, I see it as a very positive card. And again, this notion of interrupting cycles that we just are not satisfied with anymore. And this is Spirit saying, notice that you're not satisfied with what's not working out anymore. It's not working out because it doesn't fit you. But if you just go into, again, false positivity, well, it's fine, all is well, then you are missing the point that yes, all is well, but you also don't want it. Not wanting something isn't negative. It's actually the positive, because also that's going to tell you something, right? Why don't I want it? Fresh new way of living emerges, and so on and so forth. But be very cognizant, be very aware, be very clear on what you're deselecting as you're choosing this way. And especially what you're going to be deselecting is to be dissatisfied, to be unhappy, to be bored, to be irritated, to be stressed, right? I ain't stressing today. I'm not going to stress about this. Everything in the world says that I should stress about it. Everything on social media says that this is stressing me out. I should be outraged. I should be this. I'm deselecting that. I'm not stressing today. Literally, one of the lines in the song I was talking to you about is, peace and love is on my mind. I ain't stressing today. And then he even sings like, I'm receiving all my blessings. I have no time for stressing. I'm receiving all my blessings. I don't have time for this. I'm receiving blessings, and you just pour it out. So to be very, very clear about what you're deselecting, because also you're going to be clear about what you were selecting, right? Once upon a time. Then we have the Ace of Wands. Oh, oh. And then this energy of oh. The heavens opening up. There is creative energy here. This is not about being passive. This is not about being idle. There are creative solutions and possibilities that all of a sudden you're going to be able to have access to by working this energy, by deselecting the stress and the strain and all of that stuff that really is so distracting. And then instead seizing power in the situation, okay, and becoming intentional. What can I do? This is working for me, so how do I make this happen? How do I get the most out of it? Working with energy. Ace of Wands, yes, is a card of repurposed energy. You're repurposing your passion, you're repurposing your drive, you're repurposing your fire, so that the fire doesn't go in irritation and distraction essentially, but the fire goes into creative engagement, problem solving, intentionality. Where do I want to go with this? This didn't work. This fell apart. Okay, cool. Yes, good for it. Good for me that it fell apart. Where do I want to go with this now? Where am I taking it? Be very intentional with it. It's not just about, again, being passive, right? Oh, this didn't work. Oh, well. This didn't work. And so, and so, and so, and so, and so. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to engage with it? What am I going to choose? Where am I going to take this? Repurpose this energy, and especially Spirit is saying, repurpose energy from, again, irritation, stress, strain, boredom, sadness. Repurpose it into a very empowered stance. What am I going to do with this? Where am I going to take this? Then we got our Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Listen, and with assistance here, really hear this message. Actually, let me read assistance to you first. Assistance says, we all need a little help at one point or another in our lives. Rest assured, help is on the way for you. There is a huge inpouring of divine and angelic assistance coming to you now. This card appears for you today to let you know that your need for help has been acknowledged. Whether you have directly asked for aid or not, the universe is stepping forward on your behalf. This assistance can come in many forms, sometimes in the form of another person. We do not necessarily have to know them personally for them to influence our lives. Through a series of divinely organized coincidences, a complete stranger can make their way into our personal world, and so on and so forth. So there could be said that there was a lot of focus on the person, but it's more about the ways. Orchestration, spirit orchestrating things, making things happen to bring in help. And one of the messages and the advice is don't say no, right? So welcome the help as it comes. But there is a huge outpouring of spiritual help for you. And so, again, lean into that, work with that. Because what Spirit is telling you basically is that when you have this perspective, when you have this mindset, you're going to be open to the help that's coming in, because you're going to be expecting help. You're going to know, okay, so things are getting better. How is it going to be better? That's your focus. That's how you're looking around. And so when Spirit orchestrates A, B, C, and D, where you might once have missed it because you were stressed, or you're becoming fearful, you're in a fearful space, so when someone comes and offers help, like a stranger, you're like, no, this just happened 2 minutes ago, I'm not going to trust a stranger, are you kidding? It would be like that, and I'm laughing to banish that energy. It's very much linked to that. The Spirit is going to help you. And so with that said, the Wheel of Fortune comes in to say, have a very large perspective. Really expand your perspective to understand that what is something like a setback or an accident or something negative for you today, in the grand scheme of things, it can be something positive that is actually placing you on top. You don't know that, but Spirit does, and Spirit has that long-term perspective. And so this is a message with these two together that is talking about you co-creating with Spirit so much more, so that when you can trust in how things are unfolding now, not from blindness, not from, dumb faith, or not dumb faith, but like dumb acceptance without thinking. Those are not the words I want to use. From a space of I mean, what I'm speaking is how it's portrayed, that faith is being dumb, that faith is being stupid or mindless or toxic positivity. It's not from that space at all. So, again, it's also not from the space from which it's portrayed. Apparently, a lot of people are going to think you're being weird, or maybe they're going to think you're being dumb, or they're going to think that you're, and you might judge yourself for it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. You might judge yourself for it. And that's part of what you need to deselect. But really come to a place of understanding that it's time for you to co-create with spirit. It's time for you to work the odds on such a large level. And let's hope that I can explain this to you the way it's coming through. Listen, where you're headed, what you're creating, this new way of living is a very, very large chess set and chessboard. And spirit has the whole thing mapped out about how you're going to end up on top and how you're going to get your blessings and how you're going to live, the best possible. It's all been mapped out. And that's the positive news, by the way. Spirit is leading you, right? And you're on top. However, all the way there is lots of different moves. It's a whole journey. It's a whole journey. And you can't see the whole thing, but spirit can. And so you have to work with spirit to get where you're going to go. This is the kind of life that you are on. That's the kind of path that you're on. This is where we're at right now. You have to co-create with spirit to get there. And that's why you're also getting all of this assistance, because spirit knows you can't get there on your own. Your job is to lean into this assistance, is to focus on it. Because the message basically is that yes, there are positive influences that are also coming through from spirit. Wheel of Fortune and assistance, spiritual energy that's going to make everything right in your world. Absolutely. That there are those positive influences, but you have to be in a space where you can match it. Otherwise, it would be for naught. Like, it would be for nothing. Spirit will put in all this work, and spirit does, by the way, all the time, every single day. The universe works for our highest good. Not to this level. This isn't a higher level than what you've known, right? And probably that most people experience on the planet. Just gonna put it out there. But it needs you to be focused on it and to be working with it, because then we have transformation. So let me get the second booklet. This is the Sacred Traveler Oracle Cards by Denise, Linn, and the one before was The Return of Spirit by Cheryl Harnish, that I also love. So, transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. You are in a time of huge transformation. Old beliefs, ideas, and decisions about who you are and what you deserve in life are dropping away, replaced by incredible vitality and new pathways. Soon you'll be experiencing the world in a fresh new way. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know that the journey transforms the traveler. When the traveler arrives at the destination, the traveler is no longer the same person who started out. Even if there are some areas that may be murky or unsettled in your life, don't be concerned. Don't be stressing. There you go. Don't be concerned. This is the confusion that often appears before the rebirth. Like the phoenix that arises majestically from the ashes, a big change in your life is at hand. Don't hold on to old ways of viewing the world and limited ways of thinking. Be willing to see the world with fresh new eyes. Changes are afoot, and it's all so very good. Oh, I love it. Okay, I would never have read those from the booklet. Certainly wasn't intending to. Maybe never is a big word, but I was not intending to. But the interruption allowed me to. It's like that. It's about moving into the what shows up, and that's the fresh new way of living. It's like you're shifting into a space where the universe is your friend, life is your friend. The ways in which things unfold are your friends, and when you work with that, when you move with that, you can become so empowered and start to really co-create a lot of fortune, a lot of happiness, a lot of well-being. Everything in life, nothing is static. Everything that happens, Spirit also told me, it's a negotiation. Life is a negotiation. Every single event is not a fixed thing that just happens and that's it. It's a negotiation. Then you work with what showed up. Okay, so this and that, and how would I do? And there's parts that I have to do, and then there's parts the Spirit works on, and we co-create together an outcome that is positive for me, that is a blessing for me. Okay, I love that. I could keep talking, but I also just felt like Boom. That was it. That was the end. I do have a takeaway message. Let's see. We have ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. I love it. Yeah, you got this. Again, yeah, ownership, you got this. And that's literally what it is. If you decide that you got this, you got this. If you don't, you don't. And it's like my healer actually said this to me, and I think it's actually the Ford guy, the man who founded Ford, who said it originally. But the quote is, "You can think you can, or you can think you can't. Either way, you're going to be right. It is up to you. You have ownership in this situation." So I will leave it at that. Love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it served you. That was so interesting. I would love it if you would drop me some lines. Let me know how this resonates and also what on earth is happening in your life. This energy is wild, but it's also amazing. Really, truly beautiful things can come from this. And again, you've got this. So if you would like more help, I do offer intuitive readings where we work on soul connections, self-love, love and relationships, life purpose, where we go deep. We yank out dysfunctions at the root, and then we activate some really powerful healing. Spirit activates people, places, things in your life to help you co-create some powerful healing. And then I use the same concept, co-creative healing, and I created some healing work where you can speak the words and connect with spirit and enact healing in the same way. Really, really powerful healing and shifts and transformations. It starts from small energy clearings all the way into long processes, month-long processes, all the way up into 16 months. So it is there in the description box if that speaks to you. I am sending you so much love, wishing you all the best. May you be blessed always and in all ways. And so it is. Bye, love.